Pony.
JTH 10,000 here.
Mr. Tailsthehero.
And right now, since we want to give you something other than a Tumblr reaction, we're going to be reacting to this short fanfic that was written just like the Molestia video. This one was written by the one and only Mindless Gonzo.
Yep.
The story is called Plot Twist. From what I see, it's clubfic, and from what I see, it looks like there's only slight bondage and a tiny bit of blood in this, so it's nothing too gory or serious. I guess if you want to, you can consider this a mild dark clubfic.
Mild grimdark, yeah.
Mild grimdark, mild dark clubfic. Either of those. Anyways, here we go. Plot Twist by Mindless Gonzo. Oops. Fucking.
Oopsie diddly.
Ugh, my head. Why won't the world stop spinning? It took Apple Bloom a while until her focus became clear of wherever she was. It was too dark save for the small line of light in front of her. All she could make out was some boxes, shelves, and some odds and ends. A shed? She thought. She tried to move, but she felt rope restricting her hands and hooves. Yeah, like I said, slight bondage. She slightly panicked and tried to yell help. The sad, muffled sound of her voice brought another discovery. Her muzzle was tied shut.
Oof.
How did I get here? She tried to remember, but all the poor pony could remember was walking home, satisfied that she'll soon be entering college before a sudden blackout.
Oh, so they're of age.
Apparently.
Good.
Footsteps were heard a while after she tried to undo the ropes. The line of light grew wide as the doors were slit open and a stranger stood in it. The mare looked familiar, but Apple Bloom couldn't quite make her out. A flick of light in the shed then shone a sort of familiar face. Twist? Apple Bloom beamed in her mind, an old friend from Phillyhood. At the most perfect time. The farmer was beaming in happiness to see. My parents are gone, so now I can have my time with you, Apple Bloom.
What?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, Gonzo put a note up here. Twist won't have a lisp in her speech as part of her story, and because I can't quite do it right. The characters are also anthropomorphic, which is why you heard hands and hooves.
Yeah.
Because they're anthropomorphic. Okay. Her heart sank immediately. What? I was a bit sad when you left me after I had just gotten my cutie mark and then you stopped hanging out with me. After that time, I was still pestered for being so ugly.
Aww.
So I went to some unicorns to fix my lisp and get me a curvy body.
Oh.
Seriously?
Alright.
It must explain how come Apple Bloom wasn't registering Twist's body. The perky chest, the slim waist, less curls in her mane, even a slim pair of glasses compared to the oversized ones Apple Bloom remembers.
Well then.
I know how you hanged out with those cute fillies you call Cutie Mark Crusaders. Oh, well, at least she remembered the others. I noticed they had somewhat decent hips and breasts. Twist propped Apple Bloom up as she spoke. She then sat on her lap facing the now panicking farm pony. No, I can't blame Apple Bloom for panicking.
Well, I would probably panic a little bit.
Yeah.
One of my former friends has me tied up in a goddamn shed. I'm a little afraid. I'd be a little afraid.
Twist then put her captive friend into her cleavage. Feel them, Apple Bloom. Aren't they bigger than that Sweetie Belle or that rowdy Scootaloo? Apple Bloom had to admit they were firm yet soft and warm. It's reminiscent of Applejack's chest when she would comfort Apple Bloom during the sad times of her life.
Yeah.
I did it all for you, my super special friend. She still says that? I thought she would just say something else, like best friend or something.
So, I don't know.
Twist grabbed Apple Bloom's arm and dragged her to the house not far from the shed. Then it was up some stairs, the pain spared for the moment when Twist attempted to carry the hostage mare. A door was then flung open and Apple Bloom suddenly became horrified. I almost don't want to read the next paragraph.
Why?
As I thought. Tape glued and etched onto two walls were copious images of Apple Bloom in everyday life.
Oh, so it's stalking.
Yeah. I'll throw a memory to as recent as a week or so ago, as one picture was from when the Crusaders gathered to see the discovered cutie mark on Sweetie Belle. Oh, so I guess they all have their cutie marks.
I would hope so.
They were all taken from various angles and zoomed into the red-maned cutie mark Crusader, some of which were thought of as impossible for the farm pony not to notice anyone take a camera and snap a picture. Several were crudely cut and taped onto a vanity mirror with candles lit and the lights dimmed.
Huh.
I thought so. That's why I was afraid, because that's what I was afraid we would read. Swiss tossed her captive onto a bed covered in rose petals and several more pictures. She then removed the cloth that silenced Apple Bloom's muzzle. "What in Celestia's name has gotten into you?" shouted Apple Bloom. "I did all this just so we can stay together, to be more than super special friends, forever and ever."
Ooh. A healthy obsession there, Twist.
Yeah. The farm pony began to shake and sweat in the immense fear that enveloped her, her eyes fixated on the sultry yet predator-like eyes that stared from her face to her pants. From what I can tell, and from the warnings, I don't think Twist actually rapes her, so
I hope not.
I'll find out. Twist grabbed and undone Apple Bloom's pants until her crotch was exposed. She brought her head close to sniff her scent. "Just as I dreamed," she said. "Apples, like your mane."
Ooh.
Or name, my bad. Like apples, like your name. I can't say I'm surprised. That does make sense.
True.
Apple Bloom shivered. Not even her sister was this close to her sensitive area.
Well, considering she's your sister.
Yeah. The former friend took her 2 fingers and began parting the cute slip of her captive until pink tissue was revealed. She brought her other hand up to slip a finger in between the tissue and felt around. The farm pony arched in mixed horror and stimulation. Most of the former from the sheer violation of her body. Her horror escalated when she felt something seeping out of her pussy. And it's not urine. "Uh-oh," spoke the mad mare. "I popped your cherry. I guess now I can take all of your virginity to myself, since we're super special friends." So that's where the slight blood comes in. If Apple Bloom's internal screams were heard outside, it would be a deafening sound of shock and desperation. She also felt her heart stopped cold and her chest tightened. Complete fear. Okay. Twist continued her expedition into her victim, rubbing the inside with 1, then 2 fingers that broke through. Apple Bloom thrashed about, and still bound tightly by the ropes. Twist tied her in. It was hard to figure out what some of this thrashing was, herself trying to flee or enjoying her captor's sick foreplay. Excuse me.
Some girls like that shit.
And I think that probably sums it up here. It became evident as Apple Bloom climaxed, a bit of cum squirting out onto Twist's hand and face.
Ooh boy.
Twist took some time to taste the sweet nectar of her labors, while Apple Bloom seeped a different liquid. Tears.
Aww.
"This isn't happening," she spoke. "It is," Twist responded. "You're mine now. Wife and wife. Now we can do something only the married can do." She reached to an unmarked open box and pulled out. "This is the double-ended dildo from Ine. I ordered from Ine. Is perfect for this."
Well, this is rape.
I'm not sure. I'll have to keep reading on. But still, Ine.
Well, you technically do it. It is rape because she's forcing her without consent. But it's okay. I don't care.
True.
I mean, I do care. I mean, rape is never a good thing. But,
Yeah.
it's just a fan fiction.
Yeah.
Don't ever do it, people. It's disgusting, filthy, and messed up.
Yeah. Apple Bloom's eyes widened in horror. First she's violated, and now this fiendish sex act continues. Will this demented act ever end? Twist inserted one end into herself as soon as her pants came off. It slid easily, but Twist displayed a bit of strain on her face. "It's bigger than my usuals," she said. "Really now?" "That's interesting." Apple Bloom looked at her. Blah, my bad. Apple Bloom looked at her, still horrified. She has usuals, she thought. Oop. Don't worry, dear. I saved myself only for you, my love. Twist then took the under end and lined it up with Apple Bloom's flower. The farm pony continued to stare in
Why
her
do they call it a
fearful
flower?
state
It's a
as the dildo was inserted, wincing as the pain and a bit of pleasure coursed throughout her body. Now, what were you going to say?
So why do they call it a flower? It's a pussy.
Despite the size, went far enough that the both mares touched each other at the fleshy lips. Twist then laid herself on top her victim and pressed their bodies close together. She then took a hand behind Apple Bloom's head, fingers intertwined with her victim's red hair. She brought the farm pony close and instigated a deep kiss. Oop. Me bad. Something clicked in Apple Bloom when Twist kissed her, something that seemed unlike her and is almost unexplainable. It couldn't be right. Does she like it? It would explain how come during the kiss she felt more warm than relaxed, and she swore that she was even returning the favor during the kiss. She thought, this can't be real. It's gotta be some sort of magic mumbo-jumbo. That's probably how she would put it in her own terms.
But Twist is an earth pony, isn't she?
Yeah, she is an earth pony. Twist began to move her hips around, which made the dildo move around inside Apple Bloom as well. The fear was still receding, and Apple Bloom felt more aroused than afraid. It's strange. Twist was an obsessed mare-napping stalker, yet she is giving her an astounding experience. Apple Bloom was the object of her desire. Not only that, the farm pony never did have much going for her. She still remembers the many rejections of Colt she asked. Never did she experience sex or anything close. While it was the complete opposite of what she was expecting, Apple Bloom was gradually going along with Twist's sick perversions, even starting to pant while her heart raced to that very reason. Is she actually starting to get into it?
Some girls actually do get into that.
I guess she is.
It's a fetish.
That very reason. To the tied-up crusader, it's foreign, but it slowly became familiar and addicting. You loved me, didn't you? She asked. Every day. I couldn't stop thinking about you, her captor replied. A thought clicked in Apple Bloom, one that isn't like her, but she just couldn't think straight anymore. Not when the ecstasy became so overwhelming now. Harder, she demanded in a low whisper. I want it harder. What? I can't explain why. I just want more. Twist beamed. Finally, Apple Bloom has embraced her vision and is wanting her. She accelerated her movements on a whim, and on a whim untied her now lover's arms. Apple Bloom wrapped her arms around Twist, holding her close and feeling those firm breaths on hers. She now knows that she's enjoying it too much to take advantage and escape. Her body is now continued on the sudden and ever-growing desire. It's too late to do anything but to let this ride to wherever it may lead. Both girls are moaning quite loudly and are thrashing about, riding on their instinct and desires. Their minds are now too clouded for coherent thoughts. The climax was within their reach. The two embraced for one good length of time, gasping while they came around the large dildo and onto Twist sheets and crudely cut pictures. After their orgasm was ridden, both collapsed, Twist, now exhausted, doing most of the work. When the two bodies had calmed down and their minds had cleared, Twist spoke. Even with this makeover, I still had no guts to ask you and wound up, well, you know. Apple Bloom kept her silence, trying to calm down from her first sexual experience. Twist continued. I bet you're gonna report me to the cops and hate me for the rest of your life. All Apple Bloom could muster was, I just want to go home now. I think something's wrong with me, and I'd rather be in my own bed. Twist attempted to get up and off the bed. I'll just call a taxi. Despite the fatigue, Apple Bloom noticed that now Twist is lamenting her actions. Maybe it was just an act of desperate love and attention, but sadly with an abduction. Then again, she just needs to be home as the clock on Twist's nightstand displayed a time well past her normal curfew. Apple Bloom was driven up the long driveway of Sweet Apple Acres, close haphazardly on and eyes weary. After giving the driver the fare, she approached the door and knocked. Oh, we're coming to the end. Applejack swung open the door with a mixture of anger and relief. Where the hey were you? I was worried sick about you. Applebloom could barely stand, still drowsy and fatigued from Twist's doings. I don't want to talk now. I just want to go to bed. Please? AJ sighed. Fine, go and rest up, but we're talking about this when you wake up. Yeah, I'll tell you when I can, she reacted. She retreated to her bed and collapsed on it in the dark bedroom. She tossed around to look out the window of her room in the dark glow of Princess Luna's moon. She still felt it, the feeling of that large dildo inside her, Twist's probing fingers, her breasts, and her deep kiss. Applebloom still felt it. The next thing she remembered before falling asleep was her own fingers in between her pussy lips, trying to recreate that strange feeling she felt earlier in her own abductor's dimly lit room that was covered in cut-up photos and candles. She whispered Twist's name and slipped into nocturnal slumber. The end.
Well, that was certainly interesting.
I'll say. I did notice that too. She seemed to be lamenting her actions after it was all over.
Well, yeah, she regretted it.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah, odd indeed, but that certainly was interesting. Like you said, if this ever happens, don't ever let this happen to you.
Don't do it. Like,
don't let it happen to you.
Rape is a serious thing, and it's a serious issue in this country.
And it's a serious crime.
It's a serious crime. Seriously, like...
Don't let it happen to you, and don't do it yourself.
Don't ever let it happen. Don't ever do it yourself. Help rape victims. That's the big thing at the end here.
Yeah, I think that's the message Gonzo was trying to communicate with this.
Yeah, help rape victims. But anyway, this is...
So, Gonzo, if you ever stumble across this by any miracle, I believe we do get the message you're trying to spread through this fanfic.
Yes.
So it was interesting, and I can honestly say I respect the message you're trying to give to us.
It was an interesting story.
It was.
I would like to see maybe another story where maybe they hook up, but not through rape.
Yeah. Anyways, that was the end of a very intriguing fanfic.
Yep.
And sadly, he'll be leaving soon. This is the only one we had time for, along with that Tumblr reaction. Yeah. But hey, at least we gave you something. 2 videos.
2 videos.
And so this is JTH.
Mr. Tailsthehero.
And we will see you again whenever he comes over again. Goodbye.